Hey everyone, Dan Hepworth, co-founder and CEO of the Massapequa Tutor here, and I want to start this video with a question. Do you think LeBron James practices shooting basketballs on a 7-foot hoop? Or do you think Paul McCartney practices his singing and guitar skills by playing hot cross buns? None of the above. You need to practice like you play, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. This is so true with anything you want to achieve, in particular exams, and in particular standardized tests. Your goal should be to know what's on the test before seeing the test, in an ethical way, of course. And I would argue a large reason students struggle with the SAT and ACT is because they just don't know the test well enough. That's why most people improve scores simply by taking it a second time. You just know what to expect more. So, to reach this state of multiple choice nirvana, you need to do four things. The first of which is use only the best resources. For the SAT, they have 10 whole practice tests for free on their website. Similarly, the ACT has a book they release with practice tests. There's also a whole Reddit thread where people post previously released exams. So think of it this way. What better questions are there to practice with than questions that are made from the test maker? The second thing is you want to simulate testing conditions. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. The first of which is timing. These exams have certain time constraints. So when you're taking practice exams, set yourself to the similar time constraints. Moreover, limit your resources. So no Google, no note sheets, no calculator if it's the no calculator section, etc. Because you're not going to have those on test days. Moreover, take only the designated break times. So for the SAT and ACT, they only give you a certain amount of time to stretch and relax in between test sections. It's usually 5 to 10 minutes, and sometimes they don't even let you leave the testing room. And you want to do that when you're preparing too, since these tests they're a mental marathon. They're over 3 hours, and that's a lot of time to be sitting in the same room and staring at a Scantron. So you need to mentally prepare for that, since by the time you get to section 4, you're going to be exhausted if you didn't prepare accordingly. It's just like anything. It's all about endurance. Moreover, and probably the least common way people prepare is by taking the exam in the morning, because these exams are often administered very early, 8 or 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning. So you want to get used to taking tests in the morning, because for many people, they're not 100% there in the morning until they have their cup of coffee and they go for a jog or browse through TikTok for an hour. So you want to make sure that you're as prepared as possible for what test day is going to look like in terms of the time, the resources, the breaks, and the actual time of day of the exam. The third thing is strive for understanding. So for every question you get wrong when you're going back and grading your test, don't fret, as you have the answer key, which really should be called the answer key to success. And when you go through this answer key, don't just read the answer, but go through the question again and ensure two things. You understand why you messed up, what the gap in understanding was, and also why the answer in the key is right, because sometimes it might not make sense on the first read. Moreover, this is also a really good opportunity to dive deeper into topics you don't understand. So for example, if you mess up a question on who versus whom in the grammar section, you probably want to dive deeper and figure out what the difference is between who versus whom, because that answer, that 5-sentence explanation is not going to tell you all the different use cases of the two. So you want to research it a bit online, and on the internet there's a bounty of resources. There's worksheets for pretty much every topic you can imagine. One tip that might be helpful in that is typing PDF next to it. Like look up who versus whom PDF, and then you only see the results for PDF worksheets for that topic. So that might save you some time. And the fourth thing you want to do is you want to repeat steps 1 through 3 for several months before your exam. So do all those things. Use good resources, simulate testing conditions, and strive for understanding. And you should do this months before your exam, because it's just simply put an exam you can't cram for. I understand junior and sophomore year and senior year are busy times, sports, school, extracurriculars, social life, work, but you need to just put in 1 or 2 hours a week. And if you do that over the course of, say, 30 weeks, then that's a lot of time, and it compounds. And given that you're working on it regularly, it's like working out a muscle. And you are busy, I get that, but you're not too busy. You need to make the time. I guarantee you can make the time. Look at your phone usage and just decrease that by 1 hour a week. whether it's less Instagram, less TikTok, or whatnot. There, we make too many excuses for why we can't allocate time for things in our lives, and I would say you should feel incentivized to do so. I think I like to tell students is that unless you're taking either the bar exam, the MCAT, or going to grad school, this is going to be the most important exam in your life since it helps you figure out what colleges you'll go to, and going to college and what college you attend has such a large influence on your trajectory as in your career and in your life. So I would really take this exam seriously, and I hope these tips were helpful. Thank you so much, and have a great day.